not resting. Push it out a little bit so that your shoulders, your elbows, your arms are all working at the same time. Now going down to a squat, exhale, coming back up to a stand. So breathe in, going down, come up to a stand. Exhale, breathe in, exhale, coming up. Let's try 5 more. Breathe in, exhale, coming up. So what you want to do is, as you're standing back up, focus on clenching your butt, pushing your knees back in position. So I turn myself to the side so you can see that in the deep squat or below parallel position, our knees would naturally go in front of our toes. And then bring yourself back up. Let's try last 3. Going down squat. Exhale, coming up, stand. Breathe in. Exhale. Last 2. Exhale up. Try to keep your shoulders back, chest is up, tailbone's tucked in, abs is nice and tight. One last one, going down, and up. Okay, so that's for the squats. Now the second movement that we have is really ideal for hip flexors, hamstrings, and glutes at the same time. They're called suitcase lunges. So apart from the usual holding on to weights with both sides, we can hold it with one side, suitcase, because usually we have one suitcase holding on one side. So with one foot forward, you're going to go down. Rest your knee down on the ground first. Position yourself. Make sure you're nice and stable, balance. Knees on top of your heels, and hip is on top of your knee. Plant your toes down. Sit tall or kneel tall. And then from here, push your body up to recovery position or the standing tall position. Knee down and stand. Knee down and stand. So we have about 5 to 10 on each side, okay, depending on your speed. Now, today's session is Power to Zen. Bring the dumbbell in is to enhance the experience of power training. Now, power is subjective. It doesn't mean that you have to be heavy, or it doesn't have to mean that you have to lift really heavy. It just means that you want to challenge yourself beyond what you're used to carrying. All right? Now I'm going to switch side. So my right foot forward this time. My weight is on my left side. Going down, position first, knees on top of my heels, and hip is on top of my back knee, toes tucked in, shoulders back, shoulders over this hip, and then from here, getting ready, push up to a stand, and then going back down, okay? To benefit the most from the lunge movement, you're gonna make sure that your knees are always pushed back, driving through the front heels to push yourself back up to a standing position. So going down, make sure your knees push back, heels drive, bring yourself back up to a stand, okay? So with the feet apart, you want to make sure that your body weight is equal on both feet as well, okay? It's not just leaning forward to the front leg to push off or to stand. You want to make sure that the weight is even. Going down and up. Let's try last two. And last one, okay? That's that. Now, next one that we're going to do is to practice some upper body movement. So we're going to perform overhead presses. To go into overhead presses, stand tall. Shoulders over hips, hips over heels, elbows up, rest the dumbbell on your shoulder, press it up, and then bring it back down, okay? So as you press up, align your elbows to your ears so that you're completely stacked up, and then bring it back down. Press up and down. So I usually say it's elbows to ears, not ears to elbows. So as you press up, be mindful that you're not leaning. Bring it in to your midline, to your balance. Okay, so same thing, we have 5 to 10 reps. Exhale, going up. Breathing in. Exhale. And down. Exhale. And down. All right, this is just warm up, so I just want you to be familiar with the movements, that's all. And then later on, we'll be incorporating all these movements together. Exhale, going up, and down. So the reason why we exhale as we're pressing up is because it allows us to tighten up our torso, keep our body, keep our core a little bit tighter, okay? So you don't lose the focus of balancing your body. Exhale up. Abs is tight, tailbone is tucked, and down. Last 3, 2, elbows to ears, and 1. Elbows to ears, not ears to elbows, okay? Elbows to ears. Okay? So today's warm-up, what we've just done, some squats, some lunges, some overhead press with a little bit of core activation. Now, I'm going to introduce to you the first power circuit, circuit number 1, with 3 movements all together, just 2 rounds. The first movement is deadlift. So you're going to bring the dumbbells up. If you have 2, use 2. If you have 1, just use 1. If you don't have anything, use a backpack as well. Okay, so deadlift like this. Okay. Now you want to keep your legs relatively straight, going down, and then coming back up to a stand. Going down, coming back up to a stand. So roll your shoulders back. Keep the dumbbell as close to your body as possible. Knees slightly bent. Keep your back straight. We don't want to see a rounder back. Chest is up, and then coming back up to a stand. So unlike the usual, I'm describing to you the workout first, because later on, we're just going to move really fast. Okay, now, second movement, it's a lunge step. So this time around, you're going to bring the dumbbell up, what we call a front rack position. You're going to take a step forward, lunging down. Use your heels to push back up. Lunging down, use your heels to push back up. So you don't have to keep your legs high. I'm just showing you that I'm using my heels to push, that's all. So heels push to bring yourself back up to a stand. Heels push back up to a stand. And then now, last one is an overhead press, double dumbbell press. Push up and down. So I've done a little bit of a quarter dip just to help with the press off, especially if the weight gets a little bit heavier, and also enhance our coordination skills. So quick dip, bounce off, push, and down. Okay, so the ideal state of fitness for us is to work on coordination, balance, control, accuracy, everything at the same time. Now, that said, earlier I mentioned that this is our second last session of Power to Zen. So I'm going to bring about one more topic in our training, and it's called purpose and intention. So if the purpose of your training is weight loss or improving your health, so what you want to do is you want to work for duration, you want to work for range of motion, improving your skill sets, your mindfulness in your training, okay? So I'm going to repeat that along the way as well. Now, power circuit number 1, we're going to work on explosiveness, okay? A little bit on explosiveness. Controlled movement, explosiveness, controlled movement, explosiveness. In other words, it's slow to fast, slow to fast, slow to fast, okay? The results that we want to get is to get the body to be wired up for explosive skill sets, okay? Let's try this out. Now, so we're going to go 2 rounds from now, 10 reps all together. I'm going to go from slow to fast. If you're good to go, join me, have the dumbbells on ready, or the water bottles that you have at home, or even the resistance bands as well. I'm going to go slow to fast, so check this out. Take a deep breath in, set my shoulders in. My intention and my purpose is to work on speed work. So I'm going down slow, 2, 1, stand. And going down 2, 3, and stand. 2, 3, and stand. So I'm moving a lot faster coming back up, just to fire up my hamstrings and my buttocks to learn to power through movements. So this is kind of like a warm-up for me for my second circuit routine. But if you find that this is challenging for you, please stay with this and then make progress over time. And push. Last 4, 3, 2, 1, and stand tall. 3, 2, 1. Stand tall, and don't forget to smile as you're working out as well. Okay, training doesn't have to be angry or serious. You just have to stay focused, that's all. One last one, and up. Okay, I'm gonna bring the dumbbell up, going to my lunge step, 10 steps aside, going down, heels push, up. Going down, control, heels push, up. 2, control, and push. Control, and push. Control, and push off. Okay, so start incorporating your breathing as well. Breathing in, exhale out. Breathing in, and exhale out. Keeping your elbows up all the time. Posture is important. but focusing on engaging the right muscle group would be the first level of focus. Last 3 on each side. Last 2 on each side. Going down slow. Last 1. And down. Okay. Take a quick break. Breathing. All right. Breathe for recovery. Refocus on your intentions. And then power through. All right. Stay focused with what you want to achieve in today's workout. Overhead presses. Press up fast. Controlled, slow descent. Okay. So we have 10 reps to go. Get yourself ready. So you can see me. Ready and press up. And then down slowly. 2, 1, and press up. 3, 2, 1, and up. 3, 4, 5, breathing in. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. If you've got heavier weights, challenge yourself to go heavier, okay? Round number 2, you're a lot more familiar with the movement, so watch me going. I'm gonna only be reminding you the tempo, all right? So breathing in, down slow, 2, 1, stand up fast, 1. Breathing in, 2, going down nice and slow, back is flat, 3, going down nice and slow, 4, add a pause at the bottom if you can, 5, breathing in, and up, 6, last 4, going down nice and slow, all right, equalize your weight under your feet, and stand, last 3, and stand, last 2, going down slow, and stand, and one last one, going down nice and slow, back is flat, shoulder is set back all the time, and stand, okay? Now, dumbbells up, get ready for lunges, down, push off, 2, push off, that's 1 on each side, push off, down slow, control, push off. Okay, so I mentioned earlier, make sure that your knees is back, not forward. Drive through heels, get yourself back in position. Controlled descent and power move. As fast as you can, push yourself back up. Going down slow and push. So the challenge of putting the weight on your shoulder allows us to work a little bit more on core balancing. Okay, so it forces me to be upright, to keep the weight centered at the same time. Going down, exhale up. Breathing in. Breathing. So you want your exhale to be fast and quick so you can tighten the core. Going down. Last 2. Down. Remember, going down slow, and up. One last one, and out. Okay. Not to forget as well, if you have any comments about our movements, you need any modifications, scaling, just drop us a note, and we'll attend to you. We'll reply to you as quickly as we can. Okay, now, round 2, last movement, overhead presses. I'm going to go a little bit faster, so if you can follow the tempo, stay with me. I'm going to go down to a quick dip and press out just for 10 reps. It's going to happen in a flash, all right? Stand by, ready, and let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Done. Okay, shake it off a little bit. Now I'm going to introduce to you power circuit number 2. Now, the movement is a little bit more complex. Basically means a little bit more joints, a little bit more muscle groups working at the same time. So usually for training, what we do is that we start to introduce single, double, or 3 joint movements, and then gradually extend it across multiple muscle groups and multiple joints at the same time. Now, the second circuit is a little bit shorter and faster at the same time. You're gonna bring the dumbbell up to your shoulder once again. The first movement, we call it a thruster. You're gonna go into a squat first, full squat, and then stand into a press out. Lower it back down to your shoulder, stabilize it, full squat down, holding, and then press out. Making sure that once the dumbbell goes up, your elbows comes as close to your ears as possible. So this is your stacking line, or your working line, or your working dimension. Okay, and then second movement, hang squat cleans. So again with the dumbbell, what you see is that starting from the standing position, I'm gonna go down to a quarter squat again, and then I'm gonna extend myself up as quickly and explosively as I can, and then land myself into a squat. So quarter deep squat, stand, and land. Okay, and bring myself back to a standing position. Watch this again, shoulders back, weights on the side, quarter squat, stand up fast, and squat. Stand, and then return. Now, what's interesting about this routine is that the first movement, the thrusters, focus on extending outwards. So we're gonna go into a squat, extend out, and press out. So we want our legs to drive into the ground. We want our arms to push out as hard as we can together. And the next movement, focus on crouching, pulling our body together as quickly as we can, pulling the dumbbell up and pulling ourselves into a deep squat position. Okay, so the key word over here is speed and fast. Don't forget about balance and control at the same time. We have 2 rounds, 10 reps each, just 2 movements if you're with me. Get ready, and then we're gonna move together. All right, first movement, thrusters, 10 to go. Take a deep breath in first, breathing in. Once you're ready, keep smiling. Don't just look at the phone. And go, squat, stand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, exhale. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay? So like I said, it's a fast one, okay? So we're taking a quick break over here. Usually, we don't take breaks. We just keep going, right? Second movement, hang squat cleans. So it's basically a hang, curl into a squat. So when you're ready, and let's go. Quarter dip. 1, 2. So you want to get down under the bar as quickly as you can. 5. So it strengthens the hamstrings and teaches the hamstrings to pull ourselves down as quickly as we can. Last 2. And last 1. Okay. 1 round done. 1 more round to go. Now, while I'm catching my breath, quick sharing with you. Stay tuned with us for segment number 2, where Dawn will be singing with her singing bowls. So she's going to lay out all her little toys, where the bowls will be singing together with her. So 1 more set, and then we're going to go into recovery, okay? So get the dumbbells up ready. 10 reps to go once again, and keep the smiling face on. Okay? And go. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, exhale. 4. Stay balanced. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. That's done. Catch your breath. All right, and then we have hang squat clean. Remember, it's a pulling, crouching, pull yourself together as quickly as you can. All right, last 10 reps to go. Quarter dip, and into a squat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Don't forget to smile. And 1, 2, 3, 4, jump and squat, 5. Okay, we are done. So resistance training is usually a little bit more effective because it pushes us out of our usual body weight resistance limit. Okay, challenges our ability to handle external loadings as well. So I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna hand over to Dawn. I can't wait for her singing. I'm sure you can't wait neither. So last 2 episodes, stay tuned with us and start practicing purpose and intention. See you.
Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope you managed to get some water to drink and a towel down. Getting ready for the Zen part of this morning's practice. So as you can see behind me, I'll be using my singing bowls. No, I will not be singing. I'll just be playing the singing bowls in a while. So before I start, that's where you will actually be laying down on your back. I'm gonna help you to cool down and do some stretches before we actually lay down on our backs. All right. So I'm gonna have you have a towel handy. If you can see from the captions, we did ask you to prepare a towel, but if you don't, it's okay. You can still do this without an extra towel. It's just gonna be able to help you to get an additional stretch at the later part. So I'm going to have you all come into a kneeling position. Already, if you have issues having your knees rest on the ground in a kneeling position, you can have one of your towels come over and pad your knees. Okay, so just make sure that you're not in pain when you're doing these movements here. Okay, so I don't have issues with resting on my knees. So I'm going to have your right leg extending out. We're going for your gate pose. The way you're breathing here right now is going to change, okay? So I need you to use your breath to help you get the body to relax with a lot more ease. So we're gonna inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose at a slow pace. All right, so don't rush and avoid holding your breath as well. All right, take your right hand against the outside of your right knee. We're gonna extend your left arm up. And as you exhale, start to slide your right hand in the direction of your right ankle and extend your left arm up and overhead as well. And just go to the point where you can feel the stretch to the left side of your torso, your waist, and to the inner thigh. All right. So for those of you who have issues with coming down a little bit too low, it's okay. You just go to the point where you feel a stretch to the side of your torso. You don't have to necessarily reach for your ankle. All right. Remember, our bone structures, our capabilities, our limitations are all very unique to each one of us. Right. So as long as you feel the benefits of the pose, you're good. Okay. And then observe how you're breathing once again. Earlier on, Sam was talking about your intention and your purpose in your practice, right? So come back to it again. What is it that you want to achieve out of your practice? What is it that you want to achieve out of your training? Come back to it, right? And then make sure that whatever you're doing is helping you to move in that direction, not away from it. And then very slowly, we're going to come back up and bring your knees against one another. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So if your intention is to get healthier and fitter, make sure that you're not creating more stress by trying too hard, okay, or going beyond your ability at that time, right? So slow down right now and start to become kinder to your body as you ease yourself into the movements. Remember, it is going to be a journey, all right? You will not see the benefits on the short term. It takes time. All these changes for your body are going to take time. And you cannot just work on one aspect as well, which is why finding that balance is very important. The stretches that you're doing now are going to help complement the more intense training that you do. Similarly, we cannot just be stretching all day, right? And then holding it here for another 2 more breaths. So give your body the kind of holistic training and movements that it needs, all right? Work the muscles, work on the joints, breathe in a way that helps you to relieve stress, get the anxiety and panic away, and very slowly come back towards the center. And then we're going to come into a kneeling position once again, which is why those towels are so important, right? So I'm going to have you, if you need the padding for your knees, rest your left knee on that towel. You're going to take a big step forwards with your right foot. And if you only took a baby step, you either guide the foot forwards or wiggle, wiggle, wiggle your foot towards the front, all right? Now at this point, I'm going to start to straighten that front leg. For those of you who have a wall near you or a chair or a table or yoga blocks, fantastic, all right? Use them to help you when it comes to balancing, right? So if you are able to go down low and have your hands come down to the ground, fantastic, right? The area that we're trying to stretch here is your hamstrings, the back of your thighs, right? So have your toes pointing up as you melt your chest closer towards your thigh. I need you to become very conscious of where you're feeling the effects of the pose. If you're not feeling anything, you're probably just wasting time. So move to the point where you feel the stretch, right? But if you're feeling pain, if you're starting to hold your breath, neither are you doing any good for yourself. So find that balance. I need you to feel that stretch. And if that means having you bend your knee to avoid that pain that causes you to hold your breath and go into stress mode, then you just bend your knee, okay? So whatever you choose, I need you to make sure that you're getting that stretch here and you're able to breathe deeply. So if you can, leg get straight. And as you progress, you should be able to keep that leg straight as you melt your chest closer towards your thigh. We're going to hold it here for another 2 more breaths. So keeping a stretch for too short a period of time is better than not doing a stretch at all, but the longer you can stay, the greater the benefits you're going to reap, okay? But don't go to the point where your leg actually goes to sleep. Okay? And very slowly, you're going to bend that knee. You're going to walk yourself up. I'm going to change sides, okay? So go ahead and drag that foot in, maybe taking a few small steps, or if you're able to, just take 1 big step to go back. Now I'm going to cushion the other knee. Making sure that you're not feeling pain on that resting knee will help you to be able to stay longer in that stretch, okay? So I'm going to step my left foot forwards now. For those of you who need to take an additional step forwards or wiggle your foot to the front, go ahead and do that as well, okay? And then point your toes up towards the ceiling, resting your hands against the wall or the chair or the table or towards the floor if you're able to. All right, now melt the chest closer towards the thigh once again. And then fold, bringing your forehead closer towards your knee, okay? So notice if there's a difference. Usually there is, right? One side is usually more flexible than the other. And if you do have injuries on one side, of course, it's going to make a bigger difference, okay? Holding it here, I need you to feel that stretch along the back of your left leg. Toes point up. You might even feel a stretch to your calves as well. For those of you who are pretty tight here, holding it there for another 2 deep breaths. Observe how you're breathing once again. And coming back to the intention that you set for yourself. When we start to work for something, when we start to get distracted by things around us or learning new things, we tend to forget about our intention that we set in the first place. Keep coming back to it. Keep reminding yourself. It gets easier along the way. All right, and very slowly, press to come back up, bend that front knee, and then either slide or take a big step back to where you started. I'm going back to that same pose once again on that right leg, but I'm going to add a little bit of a twist to it, literally. Okay, so left knee stays, right leg forwards, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle if you need to, and then point the toes up. So we're going to get a little bit of a spine twist into this as well, but additionally, I'm going to move that stretch on the back of the thigh to a slightly different region, and you'll feel it, right? So if you need to use your blocks or your stool or your chair, table to help you out, do that. I'm going to fold forwards once again, but this time, my left hand stays, my right leg is in front, okay? I'm going to bring my right arm up, hold it out there. So look up towards the ceiling if you can, but look towards the ground if you need to. Now, if extending your arm up is painful for you, some of you do have shoulder issues, okay? Feel free to just rest your hand against your opposite hip or rest your hand on that same side hip. This takes a little bit of work, so I just like to kind of dangle the arm down behind. Reaching your arm up helps you to feel more open across the chest, okay? Reaching your arm back does the same as well. Holding it here for just one more breath. And then very slowly, come on back towards the center. Bend that front knee, prop yourselves to come back up, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side, right? So either slide the foot in, take a few baby steps, or just take a big step in, right? Other side, same thing. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle if you need to. Straighten that front leg and lower down, right? And then we're going to keep your right hand on the ground. Your left foot is in front, right? Extend your left arm up. Holding it here. For another 4, gaze towards your fingertips or your thumb tip if it's available for you. So depending on how your neck feels, all right? So if you need to, you just look down towards the ground instead, all right? Keep the chest open and observe your breathing once again. Sometimes we try a bit too hard, we work a bit too hard, and then we forget about the things that we intended in the first place, all right? So think about that. All right, come back to your intention once again. Holding it there for one more breath. And very slowly, shift your weight forwards, bend that knee, prop yourselves up, and then slide that foot to come back to start once again. I'm going to come back to that lunge once more. So keep that towel there, right? Left knee stays on your towel, right foot steps forwards once again. Same thing, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle to the front once more, but this time we keep that front knee bent. I'm going to have you rest your hands on your thigh just to help you keep your body more upright. So you don't lean your torso down and forwards. Keep it upright as you shift your hips forwards in the direction of your heel. So I need you to feel that stretch across the front of your left hip, not to just sink your hips down towards that front heel, okay? So this is a lot kinder for those of you with lower back tightness, lower back issues, which is almost all of us, okay? We sit down for too long. So keep your inner weight training belt on by engaging your breathing here. So as you lower your hips down towards the front heel, make sure that you're not feeling compression or pain to the lower back, and you're feeling that stretch just gradually increase as you try to move your hips in the direction of that front heel. Relax your shoulders, okay? And you're very stable here for most of us. If you need to, hold that wall. But once you are there, let's see if you can just close your eyes briefly, and we're just going to stay here for another 3 more breaths, and just come back to the intention that you set at the beginning once again. Are you still conscious of it? Are you still aware of it? Like I said, along the way, throughout our journey, we just tend to forget about what our intention was or what we set our minds to. Right? Come back to it. And very slowly, shift your weight back. Slide that foot back once again. Change, other side. This is the last time I'm going to have you go into a kneeling position. So shuffle the foot forwards if you need to. And then once again, prop yourselves up to support the spine being upright. and gradually, there's no rush. When we tend to rush, especially when you're going for a stretch, it can be counterproductive, okay? Because you start to stimulate or fire up those nerves that tend to tighten up or cause the muscles to tense up because they don't want to be injured, okay? So when you melt yourself into a stretch instead, or guide yourself slowly into a stretch instead, by going slowly, yes, you get more benefits out of that time and effort that you put in to get that stretch. So you may not form that particular shape that you're intending to. That's not important, right? You need to make sure that you can feel the benefits, the stretch out of trying to form something like that shape that you have in mind, right? Holding it there for just one more breath. And then very slowly, I'm going to shift our weight back, slide or hop that foot back once again. Now, I'm going to move that towel away from me temporarily. And we're going to come into pigeon, okay? So come onto all fours first. Now, have your hands about shoulder distance apart. Bring your right knee towards your right hand. Now, this is a fine example of how sometimes people think that they should have the front leg come parallel, or the lower leg come parallel to the front of the mat. This is just not possible. Structurally, it's not possible for many people. You're going to injure yourself if you force yourself to do a pigeon like this, okay? So for most people, it actually would look more like the foot coming closer towards the opposite hip instead. Whichever the case, I need you to feel, once you start to lean your body down, that you feel that stretch across the outside or whichever hip for the leg that's bent, all right? So my right leg is bent, I'm gonna feel that stretch across the outside of my right hip now, all right? So I'm gonna try to level out my hips here. Now for some of you, if you already feel an intense stretch on the outside of your bent leg hip, you just stay there, it's okay. And if you feel like, hey, I can actually go for a much deeper stretch, I don't really feel anything, try. Lower your forearms down towards the ground. And then if you can, we're going to add a twist as well. All right? So those of you still on your forearms, you just take your right hand to the left side edge of your mat and you try to get your chest to face the left side of the room. If you're coming down on your forearms with me, we're going to extend your right arm to the left side and try to get your shoulder down towards the ground. Listen to the floor with your right ear. Okay, holding it here, you need to feel that stretch across the right side of the hip once again, okay? So try not to topple over. I'm still trying to keep my hips somewhat level, okay? Holding it there for another 2 more breaths. 1 more. And then very slowly press to come back up. I'm going to walk my hands backwards and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, okay? But I'm going to move towards the other end of my mat so that I can see you guys, okay? You won't just be looking at the back of my head, okay? So once again, onto all fours. And I'm going to have you bring your left knee towards your left hand. Once again, if you can, wiggle the foot closer to the front. Of course, listen to your body. Yeah? So see how your knee feels, see how your hip feels, and once you're there, start to lower down if you can. If you cannot, don't worry. Okay, just stay there. And then remember, once we go into the twist, you just shine your chest towards the straight leg side, okay, towards the right side. And if you're coming down on the forearms with me, we're going to take your left arm across to your right. It's kind of like you're threading a needle. All right, reach it towards the right wall and then listen to the floor with your left ear. Holding it out here. Of course, if you can, you stay for longer, okay? But, you know, because we're short of time, I'm just going to hold it here for about 4 to 5 breaths. Ideally, you want to be able to stay there for about a minute, right? And the effects will be a lot stronger if you can stay there for a bit longer, right? Just make sure that you don't fall asleep, your legs don't go to sleep as well. Gradually build up your ability to stay there for longer. Your joints are going to benefit a lot more from that. Okay, very slowly, you're going to push yourselves to come back up. All right, push down on both hands and bring your front leg back, all right, onto your knees, and then we're going to come take a seat. We're going into a seated spine twist, all right? So come into a cross-leg position first, all right? I need you to try to get your left leg to stay with the knee pointing towards the front, and then keep your hips level like it was when you were cross-leg seated. Your right foot goes outside your left thigh. Now I'm going to have a towel handy over my bottom thigh. Once I twist, I'm going to take my left arm across the outside of my right thigh. This is my right leg. So I'm going to take the opposite arm outside, right? My other hand goes behind me to help me sit up tall, and then I push and I twist. Now, this is an option, okay? Just to stay here and just hold it is okay. But if you want to get an additional effect to your shoulders, right? Give this a try, right? So then that's only if you can balance when your other arm comes off the ground, okay? So with the arm that's in front, I'm gonna hold onto one end of the towel. With my other arm that was behind, I'm gonna try and catch the other end of the towel. This is so helpful for those of you who cannot bind your fingers, your hands towards one another. So you just start to walk the hands closer. And if they don't touch, that's okay, because right now I want you to use your arm behind to pull and get that front arm that you're looking at to go under some more, right? So you just give yourself an arm extension, all right? But what I really like about this is how it helps me to stretch this shoulder in front with a lot more ease. So again, those of you who cannot bind, you can still get the effects of that bind right now, okay? Holding it there for another 2, and it really helps me to decompress this shoulder, especially since I do a lot of chaturangas, push-ups, planks, kind of movements, right? So it does help a lot with preventing, or not preventing, but just minimizing the effects of all the compression that I do, right? And very slowly come back, and we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Right leg under, left leg over, and I'm gonna have that towel come over my bottom leg thigh once again. This time I'm going to take my right arm outside my left thigh. I'm going to sit up tall so now you can see my arm that's behind, okay? Front arm, I'm going to catch the towel on one end. Back arm, I'm going to go behind, and I'm going to walk my hands closer towards one another again. Now with my arm behind, I'm going to pull, so you see how this arm actually goes under a lot more, right, with more ease. And I'm still seated up very tall, okay? So just make sure that you don't end up slouching. You don't end up rounding your backs as you're trying to go for this spine twist here, right? And it's feeling really good around this shoulder right now, right? So remember, you should never feel a sharp pain, all right? And, you know, just use your breath as a guide. If you start to hold your breath, you have gone too far too soon, okay? And it's going to create more tension and stress in your body as well. You're going to be releasing stress hormones as well, right? Remember, it is a journey. That change is going to take time, right? You don't force yourself into doing something. You can, but you'll just end up injured, right, along the way. All right, and very slowly come back. Release the bind, release the twist, and I'm going to have you hold onto that towel. You're going to fold it up just for a brief stretch here, okay? Now, laying down on your backs finally, okay? I'm going to have you bend your knees, lower down, and I'm going to have you place the towel behind, it's rolled up, okay, like a sushi, and you're going to place it behind your waist. So from here, this is as simple as it gets to help release tightness around the lower back. And for many of you, this effect is already quite strong, okay, unless you've been stretching fairly often. So you can actually stay here with your feet out and your knees together, right? So my feet are out wide, my knees are just dropping in towards the center, and just let gravity work its magic on the joints in your lower back. Those of you with lower back pain, I strongly encourage you to do this on a daily basis, right? And then as you get better, you know what? Add another towel. So you wrap 2 towels together. It becomes a thicker piece of sushi, all right? So this is a very easy trick that you can do for yourself to just relieve tension around the lower back. Now I'm gonna have you bring your feet together, hip width distance apart. Feet are parallel. I'm going to push down onto the ground to lift my hips up away from that towel. Now, as I move it away from me, I'm going to hold it up here. At the same time, I'm going to walk my shoulders closer towards one another. I'm going to interlock my fingers and press my knuckles in the direction of my heels. Here's your bridge pose, right? What I like about this is how it helps to stretch along the back of my neck. At the same time, this is where a lot of people carry a lot of tension, right? Holding it there for just another 3 more breaths. Notice how you're breathing here. Notice the blood flow that tends to flow to the face, the eyes, the throat, the upper extremities now. So it's a very gentle inversion. Okay? Just make sure that you're not starting to hold your breath here, okay? And just 1 more breath. And slowly release the hands, distance the shoulders, and then lower the spine down towards the ground once again. I'm going to have you continue to lie down here, but extend both legs out to the front. Palms are facing up. Relax your shoulders. You guys stay here and close your eyes. Take away the visual distraction. I need you to close your eyes, open your ears. All right. So tune into the sense of hearing a little bit more now. And with the sounds that you can hear, I hope you can hear this clearly as well. It will help you to just tune out a lot of distractions and help you to stay more present, right? Use the sounds that I'll be playing to help keep you more present and to just zero in on one thing. I need you to now zero in your attention to just the sound. Keeping your eyes closed, very slowly start to extend your right arm up and over like you're swimming a backstroke. Turn your body towards your right side, keeping your knees bent. You're going to slowly push yourselves to come up into a cross-leg sit once again. Eyes are still closed, but just quietly observe your state of mind and your physical state at this point. Hopefully you were able to hear the sounds loud and clear. And it's very strange and interesting how the right sounds can draw our attention in. And like I said earlier, it will zero in your attention on one thing. And when you can do that, it's a very, very quick way to calm your body and your mind down. Place your hands together and start to rub your palms vigorously, gathering some heat, some warmth, especially on this rainy morning. And I'm going to bring that sunshine to your face. Open your eyes like they're small windows and let the sunshine in. And very slowly, keep your eyes open, hands to heart center. Namaste. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining myself and Sam. I hope you enjoyed this morning's session of Power to Zen. And I hope to see you all again next week for our last session with Get Active TV. Have a wonderful week ahead, everybody. Bye.